can't believe that just happened. At the very instant I decided to come on here to do this live stream, uh, a very important candle went out. See, I've been burning a candle since I was saved in 2007-ish, somewhere in there. You can ask people. I don't let that go out. It's like a holy thing to me. It's sacred. Represents his fire. And it just died. I can smell it because I can smell all the wax, the last bit of the wick that didn't have anything left, still smoldering. But anyway, hey, you want to see something? This is one of my kids. His name's Celine. He's got a very serious look, doesn't he? Maybe he'd be a great man someday. Do some good in the world. You know, I remember there's only one time. People say, do you hear the voice of God, right? And there's only one time that I ever heard any voice saying anything. And it was when I was being challenged with my faith. Somebody, well, somebody wanted to harm me. And she did try. Can you imagine that? How would you feel? I did cut myself. I was working with a knife yesterday. How would you feel, doctor? Just to be so offended, right? See, gotta keep that one from going in the mouth there. Don't want to be getting a hairball. But she hated me. Man, that lady, she hated me. I know. See, there's more to it than just that. If she wouldn't have hated me as much as she did, I probably wouldn't be here right now. Really. If it wasn't for a doctor that hated me to the guts, I probably wouldn't even be here right now. Or, see, I can't say that. To me, that doesn't sound right to say, because the fact that I'm here means that I'm supposed to be here. Is that comforting? Um, how do you with him? Oh, it's terrible, isn't it? Who is Israel? Somebody that struggles with God. Well, I thought that was a good thing. No, it's denial of facts. Nobody struggles with God. You might walk away with a limp, but nobody wins against our God. It's not called struggles with God or wrestles with God. It's called God prevails. And so that's where your comfort should come from. If you really trust in the God that we serve, then you should find comfort in the idea that he's doing a thing, right? And that's something bite me. Something got me in my sleep. Um, he's doing something, right? I mean, that's the point. That's what Jesus. He's working in the darkness. He's still working in there. If you think or perceive that to be trouble, and what you're doing is you're actually lacking in faith. When you lack in faith, and I don't want to set this on you too hard because it's not fair, but consider this: when you lack faith, you're calling God a liar. You're going, it ain't gonna happen. You're having doubts. It's a roundabout way of saying you can't do it. Not very glorifying, is it? When all the way through the whole thing, you hear him say, right? I said it, I'll do it. I promise you. Just, but that's the thing. See, when we talk about this person speaking great things and not doing power of himself, how can you read that prophecy? I could make that prophecy about God. He could be seen as the bad person, right? And he still rules and reigns. But do you know how it says he doesn't reap, he reaps where he hasn't sown? If that kingdom is evil, we're empowered by it to be the case, then whatever happens through you, that's how our God works, right? When we were left Egypt, he said that the things I will do through you, not for you. Okay, we lack in partiserve, and I'm going to say we, whether you want to admit it or not, because you're either willing and faithful servant, and that can even come sneakily in a way of somebody who doesn't even really know God, or they think they don't know God, but they know God more than they actually can understand. Because what does it mean when God knows you? Then you see the fruit. These people are going, I don't serve God, and I'm over here going, but you're a fireman or a policeman, or you're a nurse. You're somebody that's giving yourself out for your following a God that you don't know, because only good comes from Him, and the good that any good that's done is okay, right? Whatever's called into the light is light. Just take it and leave it at that. If you want to claim it, put a stamp on it, put on a name on it, execute somebody for justification of your crimes, whatever. That's still each to his own, right? But in peace, we got to come together and realize that it's that one spirit that's within us that drives this whole process. And it's in you, it's in me, it's in... Once you're back to the dust, then you will have escaped it. You will overcome the earth. Then your soul and your life force will go back to God, however that is, right? Yeah. It's weird because the book is written to trap you the way the writings are. With pride, you'll try to start a war or something that doesn't even exist. You know, and misinterpretation of Revelation is just bad, really sad and bad. And I've gone through a few chapters, it's like, where's the woman? So the woman, let's see, where would the woman be by the numbers? It's not really completion, but the woman has power. Chapter 9, maybe? Let's see, chapter 9, because that's a little lower than a 10. Let's see if the woman is in chapter 9. 15. Oh, yeah, see, there you go. That's another one, right? 15 is another powerful number. The beast out of the sea. Where's that woman? Where's that woman? The two witnesses, the woman and the dragon. Okay, 12. Oh, yeah. What an idiot. Of course, 12 would be a better number because it's day and night. You're cutting the day in half, and that's what the woman does. That woman is not Israel. That woman is like the Torah, or maybe Lady Wisdom, right? The children that come through her are either good, and they remember Jesus is the Word. So if a son is born, that honors God, snatched up, taken to heaven, right? But what does the other child that's born? It says because it's a male child, so you have to assume, all right, it's going to be female. Does that mean that a female child is bad? No. You have to back up one, because that would be the daughter. The female that was giving birth to the sons, She then has a daughter. So now you've got a mother and a daughter. So when Jesus said, I come to start a war between a father and a son and a mother and a daughter, what he was saying was, I'm coming to start a war between the 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 father, I'm sorry, father lies, and you, so that you can apostate and love God. What? It's still justified because you learned from it. You were allowed to do it. It's that's what you experienced there was grace to that point. After that, you should grace should be something that you should just be avoiding like the plague. Okay? So and a great and wondrous sign appeared in heaven. Where is heaven? It's right in front of you, okay? Heaven on earth. A woman clothed with the sun. That's important because the sun is shining on the woman. What is the woman? She's the lesser light. She's the moon. So she's clothed with the sun. It represents the moon with the sun shining on it in full strength. This is God saying, I'm going to do something here with this woman. This woman is going to have one of my kids, maybe. If she doesn't have one of my kids, then I will say, I didn't know you. I never knew you. That's when the devil grabs the kid. Okay? But this woman, clothed in the sun, with the moon under her feet. So where is she? She's got the moon under her feet. So the moon is her footstool. Who is the moon? The lesser light. That's your enemy. That's your enemy. The lesser light is what you have to conquer. You have to rule over it. You have to master over it. But the moon is also opportunity because it reflects, right? But you have to decide. And what that child is, what it becomes, is either snatched away in good service or becomes, a deficit, something that has to be repaired, evil sown, deeds, whatever the case is. But the fact that the moon is under her feet would be like you. What does he say? Sit at my right hand until I make your enemies your footstool. In pride, we would go, oh, well, that's some place to rest my feet. To me, I see it as something that if I can make my enemy my friend, I can stand upon that rock and be that much closer to heaven, I suppose. Everybody gets to count in this game. Okay? But she's got 12 stars on her head. What's the first one? What's his name? Behold, a son. Okay, well, whose son, though? Did Simeon do anything bad? I don't know. I can't remember. But it was behold, a son, and then, well, whose son? And then you go through all where it is the son of the right hand, the tribe of Benjamin. That's what you're trying to achieve. Now, you'll notice in Revelation that the order, the structure of those tribes actually changes out in the book of Revelation. You got Judah thrown up in front of everybody. Like, why is that? And it's because what Judah represents are the two lions walking down each side of the path with the king of the lions in the middle, like walking down the middle of the path. It's pitting Judah against Israel and things like that. See, there's a big difference between these two places because Judah represents left and right. They're working together, but they're still left and right. They're still divided with opportunity to deviate. Okay? Judah is like a grace and an obedience factor. You have to repent and follow. All Israel means is that God prevails. Somebody I'm Israel, I'm an Israel or whatever. I would be considered an Israelite because I know that God prevails. And I don't even have to live in Israel, but I know that I don't struggle with God. I know that he always wins. So since I know that he wants to bless me, you bless me. That's what Israel is. You trust God so much. You're like, I'm going to do what you say, even though it sounds nuts. And it happens like that sometimes, right? Job said things that are insane, right? Even though he slay me, yet I will trust in him. And it's kind of like, well, I don't know. Because I know I don't have a choice anyway, I can look at it from a different perspective and go, well, if he's going to do it, what can I do about it? Nothing. If it's his will, it's going to happen. If it's his will that all might be saved, how come people can't see that? Why do you divide off and cut off a piece of the vine that belongs? Right? Who are you to cut the graft? These people are messed up in their own way, but they're still finding God. And I want to say that in Ezekiel, when it talks about how, you outdid your sister in your activities and so on, yeah, that's what it's getting like. It's bad. It's bad. As the clock strikes 1,000, 10 o'clock, here comes 1,000, baby, for God. Every day is as 1,000 with the Lord. That doesn't mean 1,000 days. That means like a score. Like every day is like 1,000. 10 times 10 times 10. Would they ever surrender to Babylon? They already have surrendered to Babylon. See, that's what people don't understand, what Babylon is. Okay, I'm gonna make this so simple. You're gonna go, that's it? You ready? Let me ask you something. Whose name do you come in? It's an honest question. Do you come in your name or do you come in the name of the Lord? Who do you serve? What's the purpose of your life? You know, I'm like flushed with envy when I hear about these monks walking in the name of peace. And it's like, man, I'll join you guys. I don't care. I'm sick of fighting. I'm done with this crap. 6. Why? The Messiah that was supposed to come at that time over into, Islam. But as far as Babylon goes, I'm asking you, whose name do you come in? And there's a reason for that. Whose name you come in is who is ruling you. It's like providing yourself as a vessel for God to work through. And it sounds all so holy and elevated, doesn't it? I don't look at it like that. It's just like I accept the nuts and bolts facts that I'm kind of like a machine that is made of dust. And the thing that whatever this is that makes it all work, like a la Obi-Wan Kenobi or whatever, however you want to say it, that's our God. That's his breath of life. That's his spirit. Anybody that lives or moves, that walks around, that's God in there. How can you hit somebody? How can you do bad to somebody? It's like you're kicking your own ass. And you want to know what? Somewhere, even in the entertainment industry, somebody knows this. That's why they made that movie, Liar, Liar. Because when the Lord says, it has to happen. He formed. So can you see how then that spirit in you enables you to be all that he wanted you to be? There's nothing wrong with you. He doesn't make junk and spit it out into the world, needing to be repaired. In all futility, depend on who? For $2,000. But when I read this book, okay, 2,000 years ago, all this should have been being built for us to arrive, you and me, during these times, and it ain't. It's terrible. It's wreckage. but it's everything that that book promises. The problem is as soon as you start to, you're a piece of junk, right? You're born into a fallen world, granted, okay? But when it talks about Jacob's trouble, you'll be saved from Jacob. Do you know what Jacob's trouble was? He was a piece of crap, right? I wouldn't have listened to my mom if she was telling me to lie to my dad and whatever, right? That whole family mess, a mess in there. All right. You want to know what his being rescued from his trouble is? The trouble is what is doing the rescuing. That's called the rod. God we serve beat the hell out of you as he needs to. Oh my God. Yeah, indeed. Indeed. God won't be mocked. Well, if you don't believe in Allah, then you don't believe in God, because Allah just means God in Aramaic, right? Again, whose name do you come in? The only question you need to ask yourself, who do you live for? Do you do good? You know, that's what when we read this book, we separate ourselves from it. When it says that the angels will go and they'll put a mark on all those who sown and cry and moan for the things that are done in the city. And it's like, do you look out in the world and just wish you could? I'm willing to fill my house full of people that want to do something. And they're going to have trouble doing, if they want to pull some kind of what was that, Waco incident or something. Cause like, I don't have a whole compound, but I do have a nice place with plenty of tubes, man. I can't do it by myself. I'm at my wit's end. I called the police on myself this morning, not to call them on myself, but they wound up coming here. And I didn't want them to come here. I just wanted to talk to the 911 operator and go, you're into emergency services. How did you get into that? Are you a radio dispatcher because you were into Marconi and you knew how to run a radio, which I can do, right? Did you get into that part of the job because you were exposed to other? So that was my question to her. Are there any other agencies or anywhere I can go to help me tell our world that our book is going to kill us? And it's laughable because it's like, and I'm like, on the other side of the planet, it's because of that thing, the way it's misunderstood and misread, but it predicts the future big time. Like, okay, here, I'm going to ask this question. You ready? I don't know. I don't know. And I don't want to say I don't care. The only reason for me to care is maybe somebody would know one of those words. I don't want to judge that person saying that ain't one of those words. And then guess what? How do I know what names he's used? I think it's, why do you ask my name? It isn't about your name. It's about what he causes you to do. Again, think spirit. He's working through you. He's working through everybody. Some people judge a person by their works. Do what Jesus did, right? He said, if you can't understand what I'm saying, watch what I do. I went over there and I did this nice thing. I did this good thing. Am I doing anything wrong? Just because my words are going against, I'm trying to help you see, that's what he did. And it cost him his life. It's a tragedy. It's tragedy. Man, it's like, it's terrible. It really, really is so terrible because we don't understand. We don't follow this book, but we think that you can step outside the rules, right? And like I said, it's set up so that there'll be prophecies that will just fulfill, and they can even fulfill multiple times, but you have to read the prophecies in a symbolic way. Okay. Like, do you realize that Netanyahu is in Judges 16? Seriously, go look at it. What is Judges 16? I'll never forget it now. It's Samson and Delilah. Who is Samson? Well, he was the anointed one. And what was he not supposed to do? Drink wine. Because what happens when you drink wine? You might get upset. You might do something you don't want to do. And so who is the woman then that he messes with? Lady Wisdom. right? He goes to this other woman and doesn't tell who? His own father and mother, who would be who? Our God. How is he acting outside of this without telling God? Because he's acting in a way that God wouldn't say to do that. Does that make sense? God wouldn't say to do X. So if I do X, I got a problem. Now I'm against God instead of for God. And then God moves against me. And that's the way the story plays out, right? In the end, what literally happens? He winds up destroying the temple. Now, you can, if you're going to destroy the Philistines, what does Philistine mean? It means immigrant. So what happens if I destroy the temple for the immigrants? How many more people can come? Why would they want to come if they're going to be destroyed in the temple? So it's a profaning of God's will is what happens whenever you raise your hand against your brother. You shouldn't do it. And it's like, but we gotta, and I'm sorry, but we don't have any rights as for that book. Because if you read Genesis 9:6, people will use that to say if man spills man's blood, then by man's blood. That does not give you rights to spill blood. If you read the rest of the verse, you'll understand it. That verse is actually saying it's not giving you rights to spill blood. It's saying that if a man spills blood, then man did that. God ain't into that. He's to give you a hope and a future, right? And by man shall his blood be shed. Who's he? It's saying that whoever shed that blood, that was man that did that, not God. For in the image of God has God made man. What is made? Peace is made. Go look up that word in Isaiah where it says made in Genesis. I'll bet you it's the same one. Because when God, that's so close to Elohim, it's made. Okay? The problem is see, Elohim lives within us, we agree, right? That spirit is within us. What happens if you use that spirit in a corrupt way? And again, to understand what is in you, you have to understand Isaiah 45:7. I form light, I create darkness. I make peace, I create evil. I, the Lord, do all of good and evil, trying to figure out what it should do. And it's inside of all of us. Some people naturally do it. Other people, then there's rules on how you can do it. They can't be allowed to reach out and start doing violence. No. That's absolutely not. But if their sins are of their own self and their own thing, you got to move your finger around in this book. You got to move your finger to find where you can make the law fit the circumstance where the peace will come from. And you pack off and go, okay, God, you got it. Because it's already written in here how they'll be judged in many cases if you wait long enough for it to happen. If you're in a hurry because time is short, then what happens is you take over for God in this scene, right? You take the place of God and decide, I'm the wielder of life and death, and I can do what I want. Not whoever sheds the blood of man. So it's like a no revenge thing. You got to back away from it and trust that, okay, so if the scriptures can't be broken, like Jesus said, then you got to show me where the law takes over in same-sex relationships. What does the law say? The law says that you're to be cut off from your tribe and your bloodline severed. You're cut off from your... How many kids are coming from there? None. Do you need to do anything? No. Why shouldn't you do anything? Because that's defiling the marriage bedroom. If they want to marry up with Satan and the harlot and the mess and play Lady Babylon and all that baloney, forget it. Yeah, let them go. That's how they will learn. Just stay clear. because they could become diseased or who knows what, right? If somebody's sinning, they're going to bring that same curses upon themselves, is what this book says. And it shows up. It shows up. Coincidence isn't kosher. Coincidence is not kosher, okay? There's no such thing as coincidence. There's no coincidence that Jesus referred to the book of Jonah, and Jonah just happens to have two different kinds of fish in it. One big one in the sea, and many fish on the land. Interesting that 120,000. Remember how man lives 120,000. What are the many fish on the land? Nineveh means many, means house of fish. And it actually, so can you see it's like what's going on here? Why is there two different fish? And it's because every prophecy can be fulfilled in either of two ways. Either of two ways. Either we do it or the Lord does it. When we do it, we have control over it. We are exercising our authority given to us in Genesis 1:28, which is more of a condemnation because it makes you responsible. And you do something here. Otherwise, how does he do it from afar? I don't know. He sends grace and ruin you. But you have to reconcile the idea. When scripture can't be broken, you got to read that, what it says in Jonah, and go, that guy was looking like a false prophet because what he said didn't happen. It's like, no. Can you make it happen? Maybe you're misunderstanding it. And that's how there's two ways to fulfill every prophecy. You wait for it to happen or you do the work. And they did the work. We don't do the work. We don't do anything that Jesus said. Mary is rolling over in her grave right now. She said, she's got the most important thing in all of Scripture, right? John 2:5, spoken not from, and it's funny, I made fun of the Sons of Thunder because they brought their mommy. They brought their mom? Really? We want to scare. I'm like, who brings their mom to like battle for them? Like, it's kind of almost comical. But then I have to relent and go, you know what though? His mom, Jesus' mom, said the most important thing because she said, do everything he tells you. Everything is one word. Love. That's all. Is what a contradiction. In Ezekiel 18:20, it says, the child will not share the guilt of the parent, nor will the parent share the guilt of the child. It just means that everybody kind of gets their own guilt. Okay? You can look at it like that. But as far as spirit, now you got to, well, how do we bind them together? You have to pull it apart and put it back together like you're sitting here forming clay, I think, right? You could say, how do we make those two go back together is the question then, right? So what? We separated them by saying, I can't be judged for your works. How do we put them back together? Spiritually, we put them back together because there's no other way for them to be separated. The son always does what he sees his father doing. So if the father had sinned, then the son would have sinned. You see what I'm saying? In other words, if I'm saying I'm from God, doing what my father said, yes, but not that father, the other father. So in that case, the son does share the sins of the father because the sons of, I almost said the sins of perdition. The sons of perdition. Sin just means it's how you live, right? To be born of woman is someone that comes from this, the Torah, Lady Wisdom. It's not a physical female. Pull some of this magic divine stuff out of it and you'll actually understand this thing and we won't keep killing each other for nothing. This is a mess. This is a mess, double mess. Oh, man. And I'm old. And I'm just trying to help, man. That's all. I'm just trying to help out. Let me guess. No more comments? Can anybody comment? Can you still hear me? I'm sorry. I have mean people that just want to shut me down for no good reason. It's really frustrating. What they probably like me to do is go firing up other devices so that they can do their nearby connects and hook into this and that and, create all kinds of shit. It's like, I got nothing, man. I don't know what the hell these people want from me, or they just don't like what I'm saying. But what I'm saying has to be said. It has to be said. And we've been fighting at this for too long, and I see what our problem is. It destroys me. It destroys me. Say, why have you forsaken me? Why can't I be good enough to help? Because what's funny? I know it's his spirit on the other side, inside of these other people, that has to respond to what it is I'm saying. Can you not hear truth? Or does truth come at the end of a gun to you, or a sword or something, where you're beating people up, man? Do you know what shalom means? You know what? It's weird. You have like tear ducts on each side of your eye, because like if you press in there, you'll get like 3 dots. You'll get like, they go like one here, and one here. Motions with anything at this point, really. Science experiment. Look at my boogers. I'm tired of it because I can't breathe, man. I can't remember the last time I was able to just go. And my nose is just continuously clogged from crying. I'm not being forsaken. It's never hit this place. I'm going to get to do a great work, just like, because I'll be ignored. And then thief in the night will be attained, whatever level that is. It means he shows up and keeps kicking your ass, and you don't even know what's going on. He's in your house and breaking everything up and ruining it. How does he do that? Well, he uses us to do it. It's strange how it's written, because it says the wicked are reserved for the day of judgment. And that would make you, if you were better than them, right? I'm saved. I'm not being judged. Fiddlesticks. You're being judged like everybody, okay? We're being judged all day long for everything that we do. When it says the word was made flesh, and people that understand Judaism and like things like the Tanya, you'll appreciate this book, because the Tanya speaks of a man made of words of the Torah. Literally, somebody that was Jewish wrote about Jesus, and that at that time when it was written, because you'll learn crazy things. Like, I never would have considered that Santa Claus was invented by a Jewish guy, by a rabbi. It's true. He has the facts. I'd rather at this point go by written facts and things that you can plug into timelines. We're going to have to go back to the word, because what's going to happen is we're not going to be able to trust our eyes anymore. He's going to blind us in that way. I mean, I watch the news and see these things happening. I don't know what's real and what's not at this point. I have no idea. So I don't want to watch it, because I don't know if I'm being, wag the dog, right? I'm watching some fake news and whatever. How in the hell could a world allow something? I don't know what you would do. I would say, like, this can't be. We can't let this thing be making videos and shit, not news anyway, or something, right? And if you get caught spreading false news that looks so real that it makes real things happen, you are to be put to death. If you go creating fake things that make real things happen, then you are to be put to death. The Lord has spoken. It's called it is. You don't have to think about how to do what it says. You don't practice your words. You live them. You live them. You go find people that need you and you help them out. You be a servant, right? Come, let us reason together. Exactly. Together. He didn't say as they were leaving Egypt, he didn't say the things I'm going to do for you. like I'm a spare tire. You can toss me in the trunk when you're ready, pull me out when you get a flat. I'll be there all the time. Can never run, runs forever. And we can't do that. You know, what when we see things where it's talking about children and different stuff, it may not be talking about physical children. It could very well be using a symbolic way to refer to the fruits that you give. You know, your firstborn son either serves God or the devil. Here's the best part about it. He can resurrect and you can repent him and he can keep doing good or he can change bad, whatever. That is the Son of Man. It's inside of you. That's why it has to repent. But that spirit, Son of Man, Son of Adam, whatever you want to call that, the Christ, it is an anointing. Don't glorify it because you only get two choices with this Christ anointing. You are either a Christ or an antichrist. And for us to run around looking for people, Paul said it himself. It's been at work since the beginning of time, man. It's the staff and the rod. If you're a good Christ following God, you're like the shepherd or a sheep, right? You're following the staff, or maybe you got one and you're helping other people to walk. Otherwise, it's the other way around. You're doing the exact opposite. You're scattering the flock. You're spreading lies, misinformation, and so on. And that's what's going on with, our what we believe about God, our God, and the way that we serve Him right now is not accomplishing anything of what I'll just say of what Jesus said. I'll throw it all on Him then, because I know that He said the right things. Okay. If you're not going to have Him as your Messiah, then you have to follow this book, tooth for tooth, eye for eye, and all of that, so that things don't get out of hand in the Justice Department, right? But whatever. As far as, if there is an attack and 10 people got hit, well, then you got to go, okay, we're going to just, everybody stay clear of these people, but this is our intention. We're going to go in and we're going to go find 10 people and just grab random people like they did. Probably didn't have any names, no certain intention other than cause trouble. We're going to do the exact same thing. And then we'll just sit here with our people and their people and we'll figure out, whose people cost more. Here's the difference. They stormed into a shopping mall and took a couple kids and a dog and a canary. We're going to go in, we're going to take your president and his grandmother. That's what you do. Okay? And then you go, all right, we want our 2 sparrows back. And then you get things done. But when you start stepping over the bounds, wow, man, I hate to use the H word, right? That guy was a maniac. But when you go in and just start bowling over a whole nation like that or whatever, that's crazy. This whole place is nuts, man. Is what I'm telling you. It's the thief in the night. It's not what, Christians, and I believe Christ, but Christians think that He's going to come flying out of the sky and all this stuff, right? When the Son of Man comes in all His glory, whose glory? Has that Son of Man repented yet? Or is it a bad Son of Man? Because Numbers 23:19 puts the Son of Man needing to repent. So when the Son of Man came in all His glory in 70 AD, that's the Assyrians. That was the evil that God could send against His own people. Yeah, it's already happened. It's probably going to happen again. I'm not very confident at this point because I know that we have a choice. There's things that Jesus said that are terrifying to me, right? Then the end will come. The end of what? Right? The end of all this fighting over a book? That'd be great. The end of our world and terrorizing fires and destruction? The hell no, man. I don't want any of that shit. Who does? Who the hell does? I'm sure nobody really does in their heart because everybody knows that you ain't got nowhere else to go But right here in our little old toilet bowl. Better get it tidy, man. For some reason, the verse about God walking in the cool of the day comforts me, even though it's prior to God judging Adam. That's funny. Listen to what you did. Who is this guy? Who is this guy? I like what you just said. And some people think that's a mistake. I'm going to reread it. For some reason, the verse about God walking in the cool of the day comforts me, even though judging Adam. Okay, now he put the little smiley face thing behind it. But I would say that when you are judged by God, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Don't look at judgment. What is judgment? It could be tragedy, right? Yeah, I'm not good enough. You made me. It's not fair, right? It could be, should I do that or not? That's also judgment, right? So when it says man was appointed once to die and then the judgment, what kind of judgment are you talking about? Are you talking about me? Are you talking about God withholding all of time just so that he can kill everybody off and then he's going to go, all right, let me tell you how it went. Everybody's free. Joke's on you. It doesn't seem fair. No, the judgment is if you do what is right, you'll be accepted. That's the judgment. Man was appointed once to die. Adam did that. Then the judgment. Our judgment, we have judgment. We can judge now because we know what good and evil is. Congratulations. All of these scriptures can be said like that. It depends on how you want to look at time itself. You got to read these. You have to read. Oh, hang on a minute. Give me a second. You want to know one of my oldest nicknames from Scripture? Job. Little toothache action going on there. We'll be all right. Just like so. Leave that work for a little bit. If I start drooling on myself. But yeah, what he said there, even though it's prior to God judging Adam, would it be bad to be judged? No. I'd want him to do it a little at a time. That's that kindling thing that Jesus was referring to, right? We are in the lake of fire. We're here. This is the lake of fire. Sheol and hell and hell and all this stuff that's spoken of, it does not fit Judaism. They would not have been teaching something so radical. The thing is, what's going to happen? Well, you're going to have the people. It's all blown all back up again, like a pimple or something. All of this mess again, all over again. And it's like, and I can see what Jesus did. Am I Jesus? No, I'm Christopher Masante, but I am on a mission from God. I used to say that all the time when I very first started filming all my videos. I'm Christopher Masante, and I'm on a mission from God. It's like, I don't know. Why not claim it? I am, ain't I? Aren't you? What do you do with your life? What do you want to do with your life? I'd rather rock. I'd rather rock. Well, it's okay that we wound up this way because we're all gonna go to the big show. I could be having so much more fun in my life instead of this drudgery. This is freaking treading the wine press alone if there ever was. Sucks ass. Sorry. I'm not happy. Can you tell? Ah, well, there you go. Mm. I need help, man. I'm falling apart here, guys. Bad. Ooh, sorry. I don't have any ex-wives. Figure that out. Can't divorce your wife. That's wrong. You don't do that. Still death do you part. I'm going to send some bears over to you, okay? Even that, people don't understand what that means. Each have 3 ribs in their mouth? Probably. Maybe they had 3.5 ribs in each mouth because that was 2 female bears. So they would have been, one of them would have played harlot. She would have had some bone going in both directions. See? Yeah. Um, uh, should be playing some music or something. What's going on here?
One of the most brutal
I love
of
J.
the
Vernon
Roman
McGee.
emperors had exiled him here to this island. This was the place where the Roman government sent.
God gets accused of being a bad communicator. Interesting. Why is that? Because he uses man to deliver his message. That's why Jesus said, "You won't see me again until you say, 'Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord.'" And I say that. I say that about you. That's why I ask people, whose name do you come in? Who are you for? What name do you come in, right? Who are you for? Me, I don't get to say that. I have to say, I'm not for you or your enemy because I don't have any. I don't get to pick a side. I have to teach what I teach from the middle ground with full authority, which doesn't mean I got anything more than from heaven than you did. Genesis 1:28. Rule over it. Reign, rule. Okay, that was never rescinded from us, or was it? Actually, after the times of Noah, we were given. We're supposed to fear the Lord, right? Well, what happens when that fear is of us? The fear and dread of you, and fear and dread are not the same thing. Fear is good. Fear would be you fear somebody that's, with the Lord, whatever, that's good. Dread is, well, I don't have any fear. And then the Lord then gives you the other half of what he promises, the curse instead of the blessing. But being a bad communicator, he's within us. If you can't conclude that I am a bag of dust, okay, you speak for yourself. Sins against me will be forgiven. Boy, hard to say that, huh? Maybe. I don't know if they will be or not. See, because the Son of Man is inside. What does it mean to be forgiven? Forgiven and reconciled, redeemed. Those are all words that we use that just talk about like what a manager would do, not cooking the books, but going, this goes with this, you get half of that. You know, the wicked manager made God smile. we're going to trim down what you owe, and we're going to use some symbolism in order to show why it is that we do what we do and why we're going to let you have some grace, I guess, right? It's just all grace is it just gives you enough rope to keep you from hanging yourself. Yeah. An all-knowing God wouldn't leave his words up to so many different interpretations. Well, that's because, let me tell you something, you don't know what all-knowing means. What does all-knowing mean? Are you this, see, place of the skull? That's where Jesus got crucified. That's where everybody in this place is dying. Right up here in the place of the skull. All-knowing has absolutely nothing to do with information. It has to do with sex. When a man knows a woman, she has kids. What does all-knowing mean to our God? It means that he produces all the fruits that come here, good or evil. They're all sourced through him. All of it. So all-knowing just means and I create darkness. I make peace and I create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. Now, immediately in that verse, you've got darkness and evil, peace and light, all in the same thing. Aren't those supposed to be at war against each other? No. That's what it means when the Spirit rested upon Jesus. It says the Spirit came from heaven. You got the same Spirit. But does it rest upon you? If you're an atheist, you're probably closer to God than some people that are not. Because you don't need to step on everybody's toes to go proving everything. The laws are already written on your heart to do good. And you're going, but I'm an atheist. And I'm going to say, no, if you're doing good, I don't care what you are. I don't need to know your name. If you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, good, I don't need to know your name. I know who you serve, whether you deny that God or not, because you are just serving a God that you don't know. But that God is knowing you. You may claim not to know him, but he still knows you. Why? The knowing produces the fruit. Remember, man, woman, fruit, spirit, bag of dust, activity, fruit. Man created God. You might not be far from the truth there, because see, it says, in the beginning, Elohim created the heavens and the earth, and now the earth is destroyed. Do you know it says that? In the Hebrew. Okay? What is Elohim? You are Elohim. Jesus said it. He said, if he called them gods to whom the word came, and he was the word and he came to us, so that makes you Elohim. Now, what are things are created? Again, look at Isaiah 45:7. Darkness and evil are the created things. So now I want you to read it and put yourself in that spot. In the beginning, Elohim created the heavens and the earth. Uh-oh. Now the place is a wreck. That's what it says. Now, did God wreck it? And then guess who takes over? The Lord. Because there's a section where we get created, but there's also a section where we're formed and made. And in Isaiah 45:7, man is formed, right? In Isaiah 45:7, light is formed. The woman was made from the rib. Okay? Peace is made. So you've got two different sides to what? Light and peace, the things he forms and makes. Now, what happened on the first Sabbath? He rested from everything he made and created. It doesn't say created and made, does it? Let's look. It's got to go in the other direction. It has to. because he would have made light and peace. We would have created it, being Elohim or gods, and destroyed it, because we're the ones who do that work. Mankind does the evil work. That's why we're supposed to rest from our work, because he does it all in honor of him. What was I looking for again? He rested on all he made. That's actually not even in the beginning of Genesis. It's a little further back, I thought. Isn't that like in Genesis 12 or something, where it just says that? Where they're talking about the... I don't know. Find it. Let me know. What does it say? Without any convincing evidence. What's going on here? People just struggle to say they don't know. But see, you do know. You might not perceive it, but you have to take your biology and reduce it to a bag of dust. And so whatever is making you click isn't even from you. It's coming from somewhere else. Doesn't that kind of allow you the opportunity to inject this Satan Christian boogeyman person that you can then blame things on? Can you understand what I'm saying? That's how they feel about it. What I'm saying to you is that this is actually something that is inside of you. It's not something on the outside. You don't get that choice. It exists within you already. It's already inside. So when said spirit in the sky decides that you're going to do some deeds for him, that's the thing that he uses to run the show. Your life force that's in you. And yes, he's doing it all. The problem is you're going to go, you're going to struggle with it and say, well, no, he can't be. It's like, yes, he is. He always calls for somebody to go. When he done, like in 1 Kings 22, they're fighting over it. Who gets to go? Finally, one of them steps forward and decides to go, and then whatever. But yeah, you're on one side of a team. You're either a good and faithful servant or you're a suffering servant. You're a man of perdition. You're born in, but you still are in service to God through your disservice. And that's how irreverence is justified. But the beauty is that once you have poured out your soul for death, in death, like in dying you shall die. That's what the Hebrew says. Dying you shall die. Not in the day you eat it, you shall surely die. Surely means dying. Okay? And surely and really are completely different words. Surely is like an activity that will eventually get you there. Really means it's done, it's over, it already happened. It's like a definite article. Already happened, really. That's why he said, did God really say? And you're like, well, but nobody did anything. And it's like, well, first off, I'm going to say that God did not really say anything about the trees. That was Lord God. So there you go. There's a lot of things in here that just danced around us, and we got, the whole touching thing where Eve touches, don't touch the apple. What does Jesus say? Don't touch me yet. I haven't been glorified. And that's why, because he was killed. It's, Judaism looks for a Messiah to come and help. And that man came. And many men have come, it looks like. And people are going to be like, but there's only one Christ and whatever. And it's like, no, there is only one Christ, but he lives in you. If he isn't in you and you're not in him, then whose name do you come in then, right? It's a simple gig, man. Intelligent to understand or not comprehend. Thing is options, right? You can even find there's evidence that they understood this about temples with two altars, a greater one and a lesser one. Okay. It's just the way we perceive this thing that's causing us to fight with each other. And it's not what we're not. All right, let's put it this way. Does anybody here in this place really right now think that they're doing anything pleasing to God? If they are, get in touch with me. Let me know. What are you doing? Help me out. Show me what to do. Because I'm not getting any rest here. I'm just seeing a damn heap of ruins. I see prophecies that have been fulfilled so many times it ain't even funny. I see misread scriptures and people taking opportunity to beat on the oppressed. Anybody who doesn't understand this book is oppressed. Okay? Anybody who doesn't know our Father, they're an orphan. Anybody who isn't a part of the bride, as far as the church that's supposed to get claimed, right? Reorg this thing, you're a widow because you don't have a husband. They're all spiritual things that are being spoken of here. As soon as you make it about bones and flesh and all this stuff, you've taken the glory that God gave you spiritually, and you're giving the glory to man, right? Whose face is on? There is no coincidence in Judaism, but there is a coin in coincidence, and it has two sides. Our life force leaves our body when we die. Our body decomposes, heats up, rots, and energy dissipates into the world like a log being burned. Gee, wonderful. I can't wait to die now, Wayne. Thanks, buddy. The more I listen to people talk, like, the more I listen to pastors give sermons, because they, and every time I catch them all day long where they're helping, they're supporting what I'm saying. So I know I'm right. I know I'm not, you know, uh, I shouldn't say that. I know what my intentions are. And nothing that they're saying goes against what they're saying. It's just that I can't believe it's fallen out of their mouth all this time and nobody's put two and two together. But somebody mentioned they were talking about Abel. And I knew that his name meant breath, is what I thought. But again, some of these Hebrew words, they've been translated into, they at the root, they'll connect to each other, but they point off in different directions, okay? Abel means vapor. So can you imagine going up in a vapor, going up in an Abel? I could sit down and work it out. I know I could, but it's just like drudgery, man. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like the ship is going underneath the water, like the waves are over the side, the wash is over the sides of the rails and stuff. And like I'm over here sitting here polishing the damn bell because it's made out of brass and it's shiny. As the whole place is just falling all apart. And it's like, I'm ringing the hell out of that rusty thing. Gang, 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 pull it off the wall, bang it off my head, throw it down the stairs. We're all, it's like treading the wine press alone. I feel sorry for that guy. It's the worst. Did you know when people die of heart attacks, not everybody feels? One time I gave blood in high school and I didn't eat. I didn't eat afterwards. And then me and some kids, we went out in the parking lot and smoked a big doobie. And that was when I found out that it's a dilator, whatever you want to call it. Um, and so, although I wasn't missing a whole bunch of blood, it was like my body was, the blood vessels in my body were expanding a little bit, which was then caused, less blood. It's kind of like, if I got me and I hit the floor. I was actually in a graphic arts class trying to put a piece of, the hell was I doing? I did no way in hell I'm going to, we used to make these plates they were metal plates, and they had holes on the end that almost looked like the tear off stuff for a check. You know how you can tear off the things from the printer? Look like a printer, look like a from a tractor printer, like the tractor that's on a printer, all in little holes, right? They're all up at the top, and you'd put this thing on there and like stretch it on there, and then they would ink it up and whatever. And yeah, printing used to be a big deal back in the day. Now it's, I don't know how they do it. If they probably still have those kinds of presses in industry, just because of the amount of volume they can put out. You know, this thing has a roll of paper that's, you know, 8.5 inches wide and forever long. And so it just sits here going page after page, just storming through it. The only thing I got to do is cut it apart, bind it, you know, put it together. Why was I talking about that, man? Oof, paper. Books. Oh no, not another book. Oh. This is a bad number. Oh, not another book. Please. I'm cringing. $11, how you ruin perfection. Yeah. 10 is the number of perfection. Those numbers and things that you see in this book, they mean things, okay? When you see 1,000, it doesn't mean like 1,000 days or something. Pay attention to all the categories of the numbers. You know, like if it says 144,000, it's really talking about 144 in a perfected state, right? And what is 144? It's 12 by 12. 12 hours of light, 12 hours of darkness. It's the whole thing. Man, there's so much. It makes me, I'll think about it really hard, and it's like, it'll, how much time just went by just then? That feels, we can't say that we don't know. Because we do. We do know what we're doing. Jesus cries were to say more that, you know, he had a different plan. You guys, whoever it was that decided to take him out. Bad plan. Very bad plan. A lot of people don't even realize like what Jesus did. Like once you can understand this, you'll even know. It only makes sense as to what he wrote on the ground. You know, some people go, "Oh, he was writing their names in the dust and whatever," and it's like, no, Jesus was a lawman, and he defended himself with the law. And so, if it was me, I would have wrote down 2 verses. I would have wrote down Exodus 21:12. Okay, which says, anyone who strikes a man and kills him shall surely be put to death. Scriptures can't be broken. Well, she's not a man. Okay, according to 24:17, and that's great because see, 21 backwards and forwards is like 3 sevens, or a trinity on each side. 21:12 and then 24:17. That's a day, and 17 is that's crushing victory. That's 15 plus the two forces, the hands doing the work. For him, of course, right? And Leviticus 24:17 says, if anyone takes the life of a human being, he must be put to death. So now she's a human being, right? 2 laws he wrote on the ground. Let me ask you something. If you were getting ready to, having read that, what he wrote on the ground, and you knew it was from the law, right? You knew where it was from. Hang on a minute. Oh. Okay. Ugh. I need a scratcher, man. There's a whole world out there. You're unhappy because of your choice. Happy for something to come better after you die. Well, I don't know. I don't think I'm unhappy because of a choice. I don't have a choice in what I do. I don't know if you can understand that. Paul says something in 1 Corinthians 2:8. No. Was that 2:10? 2:8? Wait a minute. Hold on a minute here. Wait a minute. 10. Where is 10? Gotta see. I'm gonna. There it is. So, and I don't read, so forget it. But I used to have a little pocket Bible that if I came in to do, and one of those times was I had quit. I gave up because I couldn't do it anymore. Everybody was beating me to death. I had already died once. I died in a hospital over my ministry. I already died and rose from the dead. It's medically documented. Don't bet me on it. If you want to, I'll take your money though, to really use it. I should have sued the hell out of that hospital. I would have made a big stink about it, but I don't know. I don't look at things like that, right? I don't look at my past life and go, I woulda, I shoulda, I coulda. Why didn't God do this? God did exactly what he was supposed to do. And you lived exactly how you were supposed to live. Eventually you're going to turn and you'll come to go, hey, there really is something out there. Or in the least, I can reason that it's impacting things, right? It's not going to go away. But I was about to quit. Or I had quit for a year, but I was still feeling that urge. And so what do? I go and grab my little Bible and pop it open. And this is what I read. Now remember, I had taken a year off and was waffling, opened up all kinds of times just to say, what do? Whoosh, there's the answer. There's the answer. This was one of those times. Okay. I open it up and it said, and here is my advice about what is best for you in this matter. Last year, you were the first not only to give, but also to have the desire to do so. Now finish the work so that your eager willingness to do it may be matched by your completion of it according to your means. For if there is if the willingness is there, the gift is acceptable according to what one has, not according to what one does not have. Now, this is a bad translation for this because I remember it saying, in other words, what it was basically saying was your willingness to serve, to desire to do something, isn't because you're trying to attain it. Your willingness to serve is because you have the Spirit. He's using you like a tool. Welcome to slavery. But then, it gives you comfort. At least you should have some when you realize that you're doing good works and what he would want, right? I mean, like I said, I only heard his voice one time in my entire life. And I don't even want to say his voice, whatever. I only heard a voice like that one single time. And it was when they were trying to, they didn't believe what I said and they were wanting to do all kinds of bad things to me. And I said, you ain't doing none of this stuff. And I prayed to God. I said, what do I do? And all I heard was, you do what is right. And it's weird because that's both a command and an aspiration, right? You do what is right. It could also mean because I do what is right, or you are to do what is right. And that was it. It was like, yeah, do what's right Always, always do what's right. And as quickly as possible. Because the longer you wait, it just gets worse and worse and worse. You know, some things you just, because it was time to quit. You don't quit in love. When you do that, you didn't know what love was. Because if you did, you wouldn't be able to quit it. I promise you that. When you know what real love is, you won't be able to say no. So what is right is drinking and preaching. I see you have a problem with drinking. Why? Have you been drunk before or something? Have you gotten into trouble? Um, how would you feel if I told you that my intestines was all blocked up with cancer or something? The only thing I can do is drink liquids to get them through there. Then would you leave me alone? See, because when you judge somebody drinking and preaching, just claim like Hannah, okay? I don't care what you've seen. I don't care what you watch me put in my mouth. I'm not drunk, sir. Okay? Find me a pastor or theologian that I can sit down and talk with. I'll quit all of that shit just for you. It's very troubling to sit here humbling myself for fucking 6 years with people like you showing up, pointing a finger at me. Go away. That ain't you. Don't be that person. When you see somebody that's hurt, it's not fun. I shouldn't have to go through this, which is why I'm either going to be a curse to you or a blessing. This whole place. Go ahead and write off the one little guy that don't matter. See if it matters. I matter and you matter too. I'm not writing anybody off here. I'm just trying to say what's got to be said. And nobody's hearing me. And I'm watching the news. It's getting kind of freaky out there. Remember, we can't all go up in a vapor. I'd rather have it be a lie, like a misconstrued problem where we didn't even realize that what it's talking about is, if you want to go up in a vapor, then make sure you're able to help. Even the part where, sacrificing his own son and all that stuff, it's talking about a spiritual thing. It's not talking about, a physical person. These are all spiritual things in this book. If you're not going to approach it from that way, you're going to find every reason, everything you can to take this shovel for gardening and you'll turn it into a sword for fighting. Anyway. Not angry, just truthful. No, guys, don't fight. Then he's not angry. You got to take it for that. It's just like this book. It's a misunderstanding of what he was saying. I shouldn't have jumped on and told him to kick him out of here, right? I'm saying don't bring that kind of thing in, or to me that he couldn't, I don't know, for whatever reason, the medication that he needed would like destroy his liver. So what did he decide to do or whatever? Drink. If it's going to be destroyed, then he's going to take care of it and actually take the kind of medication that's actually going to do something for him. But it was bad because he would drive around, he'd get in his car drunk and drive around and whatever. And I said, you know what? You're not doing that anymore. Okay? You're not going to do that anymore. I decided I had had enough when he crashed into my fence. You can go look, it's still jacked up. But he backed his truck into my fence. When? As I'm across the street, I remember the day is clear. Like, I'm across the street talking to my cynical neighbor. He's always got, cranky things to say, right? And he's like, what does he do? He's like a prophet. He looks at me and goes, one day he's going to come back home and crash into your fence. And I'm looking at him, and then all of a sudden I can hear behind me. And I went, what the? Turn around and run, screaming at this guy, what are you doing? And he's obliviated, man. He can't even see straight. He's like, oh, what? And I'm like, all I'm thinking is this guy is going to go out into town and harm somebody. You know what? I got no, yeah, report him to the police or whatever. Okay, that's good. Get him thrown in jail where then, I don't know what, he can suffer and die because then they won't take care of him in there. And now he's got to go through whatever he's going through, whatever. His reasoning for doing whatever he wanted to do is fine with me. Every person can cut their own thing. He just needed somebody to get him his alcohol so that he wouldn't be out driving. So that's what I did. When he needed whiskey, when he wanted to run, oh, can you make it out to your truck? You ready to go? Okay, yeah. Looks like you really want to go. Give me the money. Go get him his stuff. Take it to him. See you later. And he was my friend. You know that? He would come over, and he hated everybody, but he would come over and hang around on the porch, and the poor bastard was done, man. Stopping drinking wasn't going to help him in anything. He was messed up either way. Is finally they figured out what was wrong with him. It was really sad. They found out, oh man, it was just, the whole thing was just like, I can't believe this. And all it was, the reason why I took care of him as well as I did, and put up with as much as I did, I would mow his lawn, trim his bushes, take hey, what if your house looked nice? Just try to do what I could to try and help the guy as best I could, because he's my neighbor and I had to. That book says I have to do that. Well, I won't have to do that if I don't have a home. So, I don't know, man. It's hard. I don't know where I'm going. I have no clue. I have no idea. I don't have to like or agree with his and us. What? Somebody's getting very vocal here. Social discourse isn't fighting. Exactly. I believe people can say their words and I can say mine. Right. That's called a debate. It's called reasoning together. That's in Isaiah. Paying attention to what it says in here. Don't pick and choose the things that enable you to be a turd. Find the things that turn you into a nice guy, right? Find all the good stuff in there instead of like what Jesus did, right? When he said you don't move your finger to ease the burden, he was talking about this thing that they read the scriptures with. See, I use a claw. So I can get it from back here, and I can be like, ooh, and this is nice because you can grab at the top, you can hook under the pages and flip them. And you sit there and read. Ooh, that's bad. What did she do? Oh yeah, no. We can't do that to her. It says in Exodus 20. No. Oh, that is a man. Hang on a minute. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, see, we can't do that. No, you're right. Well, no, you. We're working together, That's what it's like. Song, and one of the lyrics is just, he says, 2 Jews in a fight, one's wrong, one must be right, and it's like. They're both wrong because they're fighting. Anyway. What do I get? I don't hate bears, but I don't pretend they are bears. Anyway, yeah. I don't know. I'd like to do a Bible study. I'd like to go over all this stuff I've been talking about for like 6 years solid, but it's like, I don't know, man. It's already back in there, you know. It's just boils down to that we're looking for something that's inside of us. You're looking for a son of man, and you don't realize that you are a son of man. All of us are. That's why it says like a son of man or like a lamb. A lamb that takes away the sin of the world. You are the earth, you are the world. How does the sin get out of this place? Obedience. Follow the shepherd. Can't believe what we've done here. I don't know, man. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think. I'm just like stuck, right? I'm like, how can I? It's like getting in an argument with myself when I have a discussion with anybody because I know the very same spirit that's in me is in you. It's not, and I don't mean that. That's it. The Holy Spirit, all of them, all at once. And it's even in Isaiah 11. Okay, in Isaiah 11, you can watch, you know, the number 7, you can watch the 7 spirits be cut into 2 groups of 3.5, 2 groups of 3.5, but the last spirit circles around. Watch. See, because there's 2 different things for what the spirit does. One is either wisdom, and then the other is knowledge. Wisdom is already proven. Wisdom is done. That's why it gets the name wisdom. Knowledge is the process of learning wisdom. What is wisdom? Although it's already learned, wisdom doesn't mean good. Wisdom just means you know it. Could be through bad. So when you look at Isaiah, what he does is 7 are those spirits of God, right? But watch how they wrap around. They literally wrap right back around and connect. And you wind up with 2 sides to it. One side that's working on wisdom, just straight data following. And then the other side is doing works and figuring kind of thing, right? So I'm going to see even more in this right now. I could probably talk for 3 hours on this. A shoot will come up from the stump of Jesse. Number 1, look at the name. Always, where's my book? Look at the name, Jesse, and see what it means. That way you'll see, well, what is a stump of Jesse? Don't think of the person. Get out of the bloodline, or you're never going to understand this book, okay? Go look at Jesse. What is a stump of Jesse? It's something that's left over of Jesse. Well, what does Jesse mean? Jesse. Extant, like stomped out, doesn't exist anymore. Okay, so it runs me over to 2 different Hebrew words. We got to find this name. In the Strongs, well, actually, it's in this for the Hebrew is 3448. 3448. That's funny. My number is 449. 3448. From the same as extant. Does that mean extinct? Oh, and look at my number. Anyway. All right. So anyway, Go find some different meanings for the name Jesse. Okay? That's what you got to pay attention to. And this is my son, just so you know. That's one of my boys. That's Celine. See that face? Serious. World serious. So the spirit from the stump of Jesse, from his roots, a branch will bear fruit. So the stump of Jesse means, I mean, I know it's saying branch and fruit, and it seems like it's that simple. It really isn't. You got to look. And extant, what does extant mean? Doesn't that mean like part of extinct? Like death? Like, is that something to do with death? Like you're starting to be extinct or something? Rest on him. If it's at rest upon you, then it's not at war with itself, which is what we've done in this world, okay? We have God fighting against himself. That's why we have all our troubles. The spirit of wisdom and of understanding, okay? Wisdom, how do you come to understand? You just do works and you'll figure it out, right? What's the next one? Wisdom, gonna do it. Or what? Power, works, might. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna force my way into it, okay? The spirit of knowledge, the spirit of knowledge. What is the tree of knowledge? Good and evil. And what's on the other side? And the fear of the Lord. And what did they touch? What did they feel? Fear. And then what's the last one? And he will delight in the fear of the Lord. And when he delights in the fear of the Lord, what does that mean? When it's delights, that's I'm happy about it, right? Why does Job fear the Lord? For nothing? No, because him fearing you causes him to be blessed. Okay? And guess what? He will delight in the fear of the Lord. Why? Wrap it right back around. Because the Spirit of the Lord rests upon him. They are being torn apart by the Lord. Because that Spirit, him, the Lord, is not at rest upon him. It's a man of war. That's what we're struggling with in this world. Amazing, huh? He will not judge by what he sees with his eyes. And that's only fair. Because, like I said, there's people in here, you don't know. I mean, somebody was saying something. This is just lemonade. There's nothing in here. I don't know what I was doing. I just said, I'll just lay back for just a second, And then next thing I knew, I was gone, man. I just fell asleep. I woke up. Whoa, what the hell time is it, man? The video's out there. It's one of my live streams. It's like 14 minutes long. I just figured I would and then I woke up and I'm like, oh man, I better get rid of this. And then, but anyway. What's happening? No, it's not my connection. Is it breaking up? Let me know when it gets to be too much trouble. You can help me. And then because what I got to do is I got to shut down. I got to pull a freaking thumb thing out of the thing, plug in another one, record some more shit that they're doing and get it, it's a pain in the ass, man. But it's like, if it's getting bad, let me know. And then I got to do a reset, and back up a little bit. And then they load up their junk and then they try to hope I'll click or touch something that's going to, whatever. And then whatever. It's sad. I'm trying to do a good deed, something important here, and I'm being hampered from every side that you can imagine. It's terrible. It's like everything from random people on the internet that would probably be happy if we could get world peace going, or misunderstanding of that. Yeah, it's like when it says when a man knows a woman, there's scripture in here where it'll say things like, I want to be known by you, by God. What does that mean? You want him to screw you? Go ahead and do the wrong things. He's going to get you one way or the other. He's either going to bless you or curse you. To be known by him is a good thing. But everybody is known by him, no matter what you do. Some people just don't know what they're doing. It's like I said, I'm burnt out, man. Been doing this for just so long. Sorry, mean people breaking my stuff. Assholes will see death. See, I don't see death. I see people living as either servants or suffering servants, one or the other. Pick, choose who you will serve this day. Anyway, all right, I'll be back. Love you guys.